Hey guys, this is Brian here. I know it's been a while since I posted anything here on this YouTube channel. I've just been busy and I don't know what it is. Over the summer, it's just like my YouTube channel, my main YouTube channel has just been popping, man. And it's been so much content I've been just creating for the channel and gained a bunch of new subscribers. I'm at 12.3K subscribers on that other channel. And I've been just having a good time over there and it just took me away from this channel. So I'm trying to make it my priority for this week or maybe next week to actually have a bunch of videos recorded and then actually have them edited and then upload it and scheduled so this channel can pretty much have a consistency of uploads here. So we're going to dive into today's topic. Today I want to talk about Andrew Tate. For those of you guys who don't know who he is, who are new to my channel, he's pretty much, most people would, say that he's part of the, I guess you could say he's an alpha male YouTuber, or you can say that he's part of the red pill community or MGTOW community. And he's pretty much been this voice for that community for men here on the YouTube platform and social media in general. And he's been quite the controversial figure. And it's always that case. And I pretty much got a whiff of his content about a couple months ago. Now, I know he's probably been around longer than that because I remember seeing him in a thumbnail on a Fresh and Fit video about a year ago, but he wasn't really making waves until now. And for the most part, I believe he's making waves is because of his character and how he presents himself when he pretty much go on these different interviews and talk shows on YouTube that really gets everybody talking and going back and forth and making YouTube videos about him. So he isn't a dumb guy. He's very smart and he knows how to grab and get people attention. So why am I making this video about him? Well, if you guys don't know, recently he has been removed and banned from most of the social media platforms. TikTok started first and then YouTube followed suit, and then the rest, like it's been like a coordinated plan, has decided to remove him off the platform. Now the thing is, people don't like him. Well, a quarter or a certain corner of the social media space, people don't like him because they believe that his views are very misogynistic and everything of a sort. But for me, in my opinion, when you listen to the guy, the way people talk about him, they make it sound like this dude is like is like an endangerment to society and to the rest of the world. Like this dude is really saying really bad things, that could end the world or bring the apocalypse to society. And then I went to go listen to him myself, and I agree with like 90 to 95% of what he says, and leave room for error, maybe 10 to 5% of what I disagree with. But that's part of being human. Like, I don't think everybody should just agree with 100% of a person. And I know you have to have some form of disagreement somewhere, or the way you view things may be totally different. But when I listen to the guy, I'm like, okay, what is he saying that's so bad? It's his opinion, it's his view. And I just find it crazy how these corporations and social media platforms will ban somebody or say that, hey, this person isn't good, for society, or isn't good for the youth and stuff, so we have to get rid of him and everything. And that's pretty much the gist of that, so I think about his removal and say to myself, like, man, like, censorship is we really here, man. This is actual censorship and just attack on freedom of speech. And I just don't like how society is today. Like, people get offended or get like really triggered by an opinion that they disagree with, and instead of saying, you know what, I don't want to listen to this person, let me just block this person out, people start demanding that you get rid of this person. And that's what's been going on. And if you don't have the popular opinion that these corporations and the rest of society have, then people just want to cast you into the fire. And that's why I see what's going on here with the whole Andrew Tate situation. So I just wanted you to just, if you guys haven't heard or seen any of his content, I just wanted to go through, like a compilation and everything, so you can get a chance to see who this guy is for yourself, and then you make that decision and everything. So we're going to just dive right into it.
Is powerful enough to construct a total reset. We'll construct it in a way that we have even less freedom than we've ever had.
True.
That's what the reset's for. They're trying to destroy it all for the reset, so they can come along and say, the only way we can keep you safe The only way you are safe is if you obey. So the whole education.
So, and that's another thing. He don't just talk about, you know, dynamics between men and women. He also talk about, you know, he gives his opinions on politics and what he believes the power structures are and what's going on. And I think, in my opinion, I think that's the real thing that really got him banned, because he always talks about, you know, he always called COVID a scam, and how, you know, how he believes that this was purposely done to destroy the economy and everything, so they can bring on this, you know, this reset, so they can come in and control everything, the elites and stuff like that, by just keep breaking down and beating down the economy to pretty much have everybody broke, have everybody poor and scrounging around to make ends meet, so the government can just come swoop in and then try to, you know, set their own demands and stuff, to where now we're pretty much slaves to the government, like forever. And I think, to me, in my opinion, I think that's what it really was. But they use misogyny and all the other things that he talks about in order to use that as a way to get rid of him off the platform. And then he talks about the education system, where he believes
The educational system in and of itself is a scam. They use feminism and the whole women's rights bullshit to get everyone's children into the indoctrination machine. They keep you there as long as possible. They want you to finish in debt, because then you got to get a fucking job and become a good slave. But they don't teach you anything of value. Nobody learns anything of value in school. And everybody intrinsically knows this.
Yeah, I believe it or not, it's crazy. And I agree with him when it comes to school, especially when you go to college. I think when I went through, I think I learned more skills and got more skills from my high school, because my high school was a vocational school. So when I went to that school, I actually learned how to do my taxes, because I was a business, like my high school had somewhat like majors. It was a vocational school, so they actually taught you some life skills. So my high school had taught me, and I also got a certificate in like Microsoft Office and Excel. I learned how to use Microsoft Office, Excel. We took typing classes to teach us how to use the keyboard, type without looking at the keys on the keyboard. We learned how to do our taxes. We learned how to do a balance sheet. We actually took accounting classes. We did everything in that class. I learned so much from that class. So by the time I went to college, I was already a step ahead of a lot of the students who were going to college for business. I already knew a lot of these things stepping in. But I can agree with him when it comes to that college or just getting that higher education is a scam, because you go right in there with you come out with a ton of debt, and then there's no job prospects or jobs available for you when you come out, and then you have to find some way to like pretty much pay off that debt. And the crazy thing is, I went to college, got my degree in business administration. I came out and didn't even get hired or anything. Had a hard time getting a job. They say I need a job experience, but yet in order for me to get work experience, you have to hire me in to begin with. But then turn around, I end up becoming an entrepreneur by sitting home, creating animations for 3D hentai, became a YouTuber. I did all these other things. And now got an LLC for my own comic book company, and working on a comic book right now. I did all these things, and I could have did this without even going to school, putting myself, taking out a loan and paying off a loan and stuff like that. I could have did all that without getting a higher education. And that's what the trick is behind all that. And I truly believe that. I truly believe that I've done more, and I haven't put my college degree to use at all. Everything that I earned right now, I could have did without a college degree. I could have did it without it. So I do agree with him with that.
The idea that a father needs to sit around like a second mother to make the child healthy is a fallacy. In fact, I'd say it's detrimental to the child. I see all these dudes out here, they have a kid and they basically become mother number two. Why? The mother keeps the child alive. As a father, it's your job to be impactful. You need to guide. You need to be a role model. You need to be a superhero. Everyone should look at their father like a superhero. That's what you should genuinely view him as. I can't tell.
I agree with that too. Like I was born and raised in a 2-parent household. I had my mother and I had my father, and I do agree with that. That a father shouldn't be home 24/7. He got to go out there, be making moves. He got to be humping and grinding, and he does have to be impactful in that way, like a superhuman. Like, that's how I view my father. I view my father as Superman. And the thing is, my father busts his ass every day, because my dad, he not only worked for the school district, but he's also a contractor, a carpenter. So he's always out building shit, like fixing houses, building kitchens, bathrooms, and everything like that. So we hardly, even though my dad, he was present in my life, but we hardly seen him because he was out there busting his ass to make sure that his family eat. And that's why when he comes home, it was such a big event when dad come home, because dad, like we don't see dad all day. Dad don't come home till like 6, 7, and sometimes maybe 8 o'clock at night. So when I was young, when dad came home, everything stopped when dad came home, because it was like such a fucking event. Like, we didn't see this man all day. Soon he come home, we just run to the door. Daddy's home, and we just run, and he comes home, he embraces us, he plays with us, he sits down with us, spend time with us and everything. And that's what a father is supposed to be. Like, fathers are supposed to be a mystery. You don't like, most times you don't know what this man is up to and what his background story is. That's what makes a father much more impactful and intriguing, because you hardly see the man. That man is always out doing stuff, so you never really get a chance to know who he really is, and that's how you hold him to such a higher standard and stuff. So I agree. I definitely agree that I can definitely relate to that.
Everybody, everything I do, but I have enough money for everything. Like, I'm at the point of money now where it really truly has no value. Everything in the world to me is free. When a king had a son, he wasn't staying at home changing diapers. He was conquering new lands and going to battle for the name, for the bloodline, to set an example for his son to graze into, right? Dad's out here, he's conquered this, he's built this castle, he's out there, he's slayed those people, killed those people. I'm the next, I gotta go do something. That's how a king raises a son, by example. A peasant raises a son the same way a female raises a son. What the fuck is this? Not parenting. That's not being a dad.
Yeah, like, being a dad is more than just being home. You gotta be impactful, and I agree. A father is a king. Like I'm a grown ass man. I'm 35 with a child, with a 13-year-old daughter. My dad is a grandfather, you know. And even till this day, my dad's 58 years old, and this dude is still hitting the ground running, and he's still talking about still laying a foundation and creating an empire so he can still leave for me and the rest of my siblings. He still talks about that. He still talks about, like, son, I gotta get these properties up. My dad owned like 3 or 4 houses, and he's still grabbing more real estate and everything, and he's still saying that, son, you know, I'm not saying that I'm leaving this earth anytime soon, but I gotta hit the ground running so I can leave this foundation, I can leave this empire for you guys. And that's what a father is supposed to do. And that's what I plan on doing too. I want to be able to also take what my father has left, build upon that, and make it even stronger, make it even greater, so I can leave it to my daughter. And I do plan on having more children as well. But I plan on wanting to leave that empire for future generations, leave it to my daughter and my future kids as well. So yeah, I definitely agree with this man. A lot of things that this man says, I totally agree with, and I don't see the problem. I don't see why it's sexist or misogynistic, and it's always seemed to be that way when people disagree with something that doesn't align with what they believe in and everything. And we'll watch one more thing right here before I go back to give my opinion and everything.
Neither will any other female. So for women to come along and pretend they give a about the fact that most men are basically invisible. There is not a female on the planet who's invisible today. You can be a 4, overweight, fat, you'll still go to the club and get attention.
And right here, I agree with him too, especially a woman that's a 4 is not on the same paradigm as a man that's a 4. A woman with a 4 can still get some dick. A woman that's a 4 can still get some male attention, no matter what, because there's always a guy out there. And that's why a lot of women who are like on the rating scale, like a 1 to like 5, got so much ego boost from society, is because there's a lot of men out there who has no standards, and there's a lot of men out there who wants to fuck anything. And I would say also men wants to fuck everything is because he don't have those opportunities to get what he wants, so he always has to lower his standards and stuff. And because of that, women who are complete for, and they can even look like a total slob. They can like shit. You know what I'm saying? And can still get laid or still get some form of male attention. You know, compared to a dude who's like a 1 to a 5. Women you're just invisible. You're just completely invisible to most. As a man, you're completely invisible to most women. You really are, and I totally agree with that.
99% of the men go to the club and nobody even fucking talks to them. If they try and talk to a girl, they get blanked and ignored and told to. Most men are absolutely and utterly invisible. This is the truth about masculinity, right? It's very easy for women to sit here and complain about the top 2% of men, because I've dealt with this guy, he's arrogant, blah, 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 blah. Most men don't even exist. They send 10,000 DMs and never even get read, let alone replied to. So if you just sit here and say, I'll get a G, a big G, a boss, a millionaire, and let him have a day off, very nice of you. I'm sure you would. Yeah. But if a guy who wanted to have days off all the time, he never would have got important enough in the first place to attract a woman like you. And that is the reality. Yeah. As a man, it's player versus player. It's ultimately competitive. And as a man, you have to outcompete the other men who are prepared to get up and do it anyway. That's how it works. There's no such thing as saying, I'm sad, I need 2 weeks off. Not as a man if you want to be important. I mean...
Yeah. As a man, you always got to keep humping and grinding. Because if you don't continue, because you have to lay your foundation down. And that's why we always say, and a lot of people within this community always says that it gets better for a man as he gets older. And it's true. As a man gets older, if he plays his cards right and he essentially does everything that he needs to do, by the time he reaches 30s and as he ages, he gets better. It gets better and better for him when it comes to the prospect of women, when it comes to his networking and connections with powerful, strong, other individual men. So that's how it works. And if a man just sits back and don't do nothing, he sits on his ass all day and he just sleep all day and just don't do anything, then you're going to be left behind from what the other men are doing, and women going to just overlook you. So that is like it's just crazy. But this is pretty much the overall context of who Andrew Tate is, and it's a shame that this dude has been kicked off of social media and a lot of these different platforms is because of his views. And a lot of his views, I would say that this dude is, I totally agree with. And the way people and the way social media and the way these news articles talk about this guy, they make this dude seem like he's like the worst thing that ever happened to society, or this dude is that much of a danger and a threat to society. And I just don't see it that way. He's just speaking his mind, speaking his opinion like anybody else on this platform. It's crazy how you'll ban this guy. And it's crazy too. It's for the fact is how you can say anything you want. You can be misandrous. You can talk shit about men, all kinds of other things, and you're completely fine on the platform. It seems like society only gives a fuck once a man or anybody start criticizing a woman. And the reason why I say that, and the perfect example is like Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels, when he first started out on his YouTube channel, his channel was just dedicated to self-improved men. Men would call on to his show. And you thought that he was brutal to women that called on the show? He was damn sure brutal to men. And in my opinion, I believe he was worse. Because as a man, you have to take constructive criticism. You have to get beat the fuck up with criticism in order for you to improve. But his channel didn't blow up when he was criticizing men and giving them constructive criticism and stuff like that. He didn't blow up until he had women come onto his platform. The moment he had women come onto his platform and he started criticizing women, that's when everybody gave a fuck. That's when everybody starts saying that Kevin Samuels was toxic. Kevin Samuels is this. Kevin Samuels is that. But no one gave a fuck when he was talking about men. And it's the same case with Andrew Tate. He can talk about any other thing, but the moment he start giving his views and opinion about women, or the dynamic between men and women, then we have an issue. And all of a sudden, oh, this guy has to go. And that's what the problem is. So it's more so, it has nothing to do with protecting anybody or whatever. It's more so saying, hey, this dude is speaking something that conflicts with our agenda or whatever like that, and the power structure that we have. We just have to eliminate this dude altogether, get rid of him. And I just think that's just a shame. But Andrew Tate did move to a YouTube competitor called Rumble, so he's there. Rumble is slowly catching up to YouTube as far as competition is concerned. So if people want to get in touch with him and his content, you can definitely go over to Rumble and check him out over there. But that's essentially it for this video. Just wanted to give you my thoughts about Andrew Tate, and just for those of you who don't know anything about this guy, I just want to show some of his content to show you guys what this dude is all about. And so you can make your decisions and for yourself, rather you just reading articles or hearing opinions from other people about how they feel about the person. So that wraps up the video. If you like the video, hit the subscribe button. It definitely helps me out in the algorithm. And also hit the like button. Like button when you like my content. That does help me get recommended, so more people can get, you know, in touch and with my content. And definitely would appreciate that. And also hit that bell to be notified for more Brian Meets Reality content. So this is Brian signing off, and I'll see all you later. Peace out.